Dragon Ball Super, the manga, is going on hiatus. That's right, the recent issue of V-Jump revealed that the Dragon Ball Super manga will go on a break starting next issue following the unfortunate passing of Akira Toriyama. This of course comes from the V-Jump issue in which we actually got some news about Sparking Zero and things like that. But the biggest piece of news is that the Dragon Ball Super manga is going on a hiatus. It's unclear how long it's going to be, if it's a 1-month break or if it's an indefinite break until they figure things out without Akira Toriyama to help them write the story. So that's something we're just going to have to wait on. Personally, I think this was kind of to be expected. It was a really exciting time whenever we finally got out of this superhero recap arc and we were finally moving into new stuff with Goku and Gohan and their fight on Beerus' planet. But then we actually saw that Akira Toriyama unfortunately passed. And the question was in the air of what happens now to the future of Dragon Ball without its sacred creator to steer the ship. A lot of people, myself included, kind of assumed maybe Shueisha would work with Toyotaro and they would actually script something out together. We know Daima's in the works. And then we've also, if you guys remember, whenever the Dragon Ball superhero movie released, they said that they were already starting development on Super. So it's actually possible that Toriyama wrote scripts for that, or at least wrote some scripts for that, or at least an outline of some sorts for that movie. So a lot of people forget about that, but that's actually a movie that's still in development. So that's something that still has that Toriyama touch to it. And I know this news may be disappointing. I know it's disappointing to me, but like I said, it was kind of an unforeseen circumstance that nobody could have guessed would happen. I assumed, like I said, whenever I made the video talking about Toriyama's passing, I never really thought about that happening. Of course, everybody does die, but it was just unexpected and really before his time. So I think this break may last 1 month, maybe it'll last a few months. The last break lasted a few months, I think, but that was under totally different circumstances. And they'll probably get together behind the scenes, really map out the future of the Dragon Ball Super manga. Maybe this Black Frieza arc could be the end of the manga. That's just speculation on my part. But if it's like the last thing that we know was in the works from Toriyama and Toyotaro, they'll probably just do that. And anything after that has to probably be purely Toyotaro, right? Unless Toriyama had some other drafts and other outlines in the works in the background that we didn't know about. That's not the only thing we're going to talk about today, though, guys. The Dragon Ball Super manga may be going on hiatus, but the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero hype train has never been more real. So they've actually revealed a few new characters in this issue. We actually see Broly Full Power, which is something that we already knew about. We actually also see the Ginyu forces back. Kale is a playable character. The Master Roshi himself is a playable character as well. And we can also look at these other screenshots and see Hit is here. And a new character that a lot of people probably aren't too excited about. And that's because it's a Universe Revival arc character, and it's one that not a lot of people were necessarily begging for, and that is Kankunza from the Ribrianne universe. And a lot of people did not like Ribrianne, but nevertheless, she is getting some representation in this, so that's interesting to note. Another thing that I should mention is there are no Dragon Ball GT characters mentioned here in the Sparking Zero roster. Neither is there an OG Dragon Ball character mentioned here. Maybe they're saving that for a different date, but as of now, nothing definitive here. So, that's all the news for today. What did you think? Pretty interesting, right? Some Sparking Zero character reveals and some Dragon Ball Super hiatus news. Now, no word yet on what this means for Daima. Daima is probably still scheduled to release at the normal time it was going to release. We know Toriyama was already deeply involved in that project, so I'm pretty sure Daima is set to go. Ioku, after all, did announce whenever he revealed Dragon Ball Daima to the general audience there at Comic-Con and at home that Toriyama was already deeply involved. He was already writing episodes and was already deeply involved in a conceptual phase. And then, of course, in a recent video I covered an interview Toriyama did where he said that he pretty much got deeply involved with the story. So, we don't know how many episodes Daima is going to be. If it's like Super where it's just a weekly anime and they're going to go on and on and on until they decide they want to quit, then they will likely reach a point where they're past the Toriyama involvement and they'll have to come up with new stuff past that. But at least on a conceptual phase for however long Toriyama worked on it, we know that's his last project. And then, of course, I mentioned the movie earlier. That is also going to be at least a touch of Toriyama. I don't know how far along that got into the process. We haven't seen anything on it. All we know is that they started development on it. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace off.